Hello, you're welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate you. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this very beautiful and stylish kimono jacket. If you are a returning viewer, I so much appreciate you. If you are a new viewer, thanks a lot. So to make a kimono jacket, you're going to be folding it into 4 folds like you see me doing in this video. Whatever material you want to use, whatever fabric you want to use, the main idea is to give it a 4 equal fold. That means fold it into 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So fold it into 4 equal parts, as you can see that I've done in this video. Make it smooth, make it straight. Once you're done with that, the next thing now, we're going to be inputting out all our measurements. For my neckline, I want it to be 3.5 inches wide. That is why I use 3.5 inches wide. I'm cutting out the back neckline first, and I use 1.5 inches as the depth of the back neckline and 3.5 inches for the wideness of the neckline. That is for the back. I'm going to be using 3.5 inches wideness also for the front, but the front's depth is going to be longer than the back. So for the front, I use 15 inches for the depth of the front, and I'm just going to connect the lines together. Once I'm done doing that, I'm going to measure out my other measurements, which is my bust measurement. For me, my bust measurement, my bust length is 8.5 from my shoulder line. So since this jacket is not a fitted one, it's a free one, I added 1.5 inches allowance to that 8.5, which made it 10 inches. So on that 10 inches mark now, I'm going to mark out my round bust measurement. For my bust measurement is 38 divided by 4, which is 9.5. I added 4 inches freeness allowance and 1 inch sewing allowance, so which made it 14.5 all together. So I'm going to be marking out this 14.5 from my shoulder down to the length of my kimono. I'm so sorry, for this kimono I used 2.5 amount of yard. If you want a long kimono, you can use 3 yards of fabric. If you want a short one, you can use 2 yards of fabric. For this is a midi length kimono, so I used 2.5 yards. So that is, and it is the 2.5 yards I folded into 4 equal parts, as you can see in the video. So what you can see me do now in the video, I am just marking out that bust length that I did to make out for my sleeve. I want to mark out my sleeve. So I'm just going to give it a curve there, because if you make it straight like this, it's going to be a little bit wobble. So you need to make it curve so that you can have that freeness there. Then the next thing is just to cut it out. This kimono jacket is as simple as you can wish for it to be. So just cut it out down the length of the jacket. Then once you're done with that, I'm going to be cutting out the necklines. The first I'm going to cut out the back neckline, which you see that I'm doing now. I'm going to cut out the back neckline first, and I'm going to be cutting out the front neckline. But I'm not going to be cutting out the front neckline on fold like this. Why I cut the back neckline on fold was because the wideness of the front and the back are both the same, but the depth of both the front neckline and the back neckline are different. So that is why I'm going to be cutting the front neckline separately, like you see that I'm doing now. So now I'm just cutting out the front neckline now, which you can see that I'm doing. So that I've cut out the front neckline. I'm just going to divide it into 2 down the length of the jacket, because the front side is always open. It's always having like a split in front. So that is why I cut it open down on the front of the jacket. So the next thing that you see that I'm doing now is to go onto my sewing machine and to sew this out. I'm going to be starting from the sleeve, from the hem of the sleeves. I'm going to be folding the hem of the sleeves by 1 inch just by a single fold, like you can see in the video. I'm going to be measuring out 1 inch because I'm going to be folding the hem of the sleeves by 1 inch, which you can see that I'm doing. So I'm going to be doing that for the other side also, as you can see that I'm doing. So once I'm done with that, this is what we have. And I'm just going to go back to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew down the sides from this hem of the sleeve down to the hem of the jacket for both sides. Once I'm done with that, then I'm going to come to this front slit, and I'm going to measure round of the front slit from the hem of this jacket to the other side hem of the jacket, and whatever I have, that is the round split all through to the neck and down to the other hem. So what I have there, I'm going to be using that measurement that I have to cut out a band that I'm going to use to tape it at the slits. So my band is going to be 3.5 inches wide, so that once I use 1/2 inch to sew it to the jacket, I'm going to have 3 inches left. So this band is going to be 3.5 inches wide, so that after sewing is going to come down to 3 inches. So you can use the excess you cut out for your kimono jacket to make this band, which is what I'm also doing here. That is why you can see I'm cutting it in parts. So I'm going to go ahead to join them all together after cutting all of them into equal size for the band, and I'm going to join them together, and I'm going to be using that for the hemming of my kimono jacket. So this is what I have now. So I've gone ahead to join all my bands together to make a long straight band, and I'm going to be connecting it and joining it to this split that I have in front of my kimono jacket. So I'm trying to secure the band to the front slits of the kimono jacket with pins, so that I can have a straight one there. So I'm going to be taking it over to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to sew it down from one hem side of my kimono jacket to the other hem of my kimono jacket. So once you're done sewing the sides, please ensure to notch the sides, so that you're not going to be having any rumpled effect around the armhole side. So that is why I'm just giving it a simple notch around that curved area that you have along that armhole side. So once you give it the notch, then you can see I have joined my band to the split side of my kimono jacket, that is the front splits. I've joined the band all through on the front slits, all through to the front slits, and also through the neck and through to the other side of the hem of the splits, as you can see in this video. So to make the finishing neat, I'm going to be folding in that joining that I made. As you can see that I folded it in, I'm going to be folding it in down like that to take off so that it will avoid it from all those threads popping out, and to give it a nice and neat and clean finishing. I'm going to be folding it in like so, and I'm going to sew it around. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to be folding the hem of my kimono jacket with 2.5 inches, so that I'm going to be folding in 2 inches, and what I'm going to be having left is going to be I'm going to be folding in with 1/2 inch, so that what I will be having left is going to be the 2 inches for the hem of my kimono jacket. So now I want to cut out the band. This is a kimono jacket with a band. So for my band, I'm cutting out 3.5 inches on fold, so that once I'm done joining this, I'm going to be left with 3 inches, because I really want a 3 inches band for my kimono jacket. So once I've folded 3.5 inches on fold like this, I'm just going to use an iron to press it down, and then I'm just going to be cutting out my waistband out now. Please, if you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and also do not forget to subscribe if you are yet to subscribe to my channel. So once I cut that out, now I'm measuring it 3.5 inches to ensure that I have straight 3.5 inches. So this is my waistband that I have. You can see it's 3.5 inches, so that when I'm done sewing with half, I'm going to have 3 inches. So now I've gone ahead to sew my waist belt, and this is what I have. This is the 3 inches that I have for my waist belt, as you can see. So I'm done sewing my kimono, and you can see this is what I have. You can see how beautiful this came out to be. It is not going to be having joining on the shoulder, so I've joined my band to it, and I've also joined the sides. You can see this is how it came out to be. I've also joined, I've gone ahead to sew the hem of my sleeves. You can see how neatly and nice this is coming out. Please, if you have found this video helpful, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up, and also please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. That is how you can help this channel to grow, by subscribing and also clicking on the like button. And once you subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post new video, and also click on the like button so that I can know that you really appreciate this video. And also do not forget to subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.